Thanks for joining me today. This is Danny, and welcome back to my FTB Unstable 1.8 series. I have just updated to FTB Unstable 1.8 version 3.0.42, which has a number of updates and a couple of new mods, including Extra Utilities 2. And that is the main thing that we're going to be playing with today is Extra Utilities, an old mod that's gotten a complete rework. It's quite a bit different. It's got a few of our old favorites like the Angel Ring and some other cool stuff, and the Angel Blocks. But it's also got a lot of new, very interesting stuff, and a totally new power system. And one of the main things that I want to focus on, or at least one of the main aims that I want to focus on today, is lighting up our little lighthouse. I just kind of finished doing a little build here. It's just a tiny little lighthouse that I want to stick a spotlight in. So one of the things that Extra Utilities gives us is this spotlight. You may have remembered, if you've been watching any of my other series, that I built a big lighthouse, like an old-fashioned lighthouse and house, in my FTB Infinity series. And I ended up putting an arcane lamp in there and some other, I think it was some Project Illumination cage lamp or something like that, that looked kind of like a lighthouse lamp. In this case, we're actually going to be able to put a spotlight in here that's going to work just like a spotlight. The spotlight actually projects light in a particular direction and lights up that area, and the area that the light is aimed at, it ends up being the brightest area. So it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, it'll be actually kind of like a lighthouse. The only thing that we can't do is get it to rotate. The only problem is I built this thing is actually even. It's kind of a 2x2, or well, I guess it's technically a 4x4. So we're not going to be able to put the spotlight right in the middle. But I think we might actually do two spotlights. Have one shining in one direction and one shining in another direction. I think that would be a really good idea. And that way we'll be shining up like the whole sea here, and no matter which direction you're coming from, you'll see the big bright spotlight of the lighthouse. As you can tell, this thing was done almost entirely with chisels and bits. Actually, it is entirely chisels and bits. I don't think I have a single full block here. Oh, except for these bottom ones. These 6 blocks right here are the only full blocks. All the rest are chiseled blocks. So I had a lot of fun with this, but I probably spent a little bit too much time on it. Extra Utilities has this new power system. The power unit is called GP. I'm not really sure what that stands for. But it also has this book, and this mod is definitely a work in progress. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't been completed yet, including the manual. The manual is somewhat incomplete. There's a lot of to-dos in here, but there's some good information if you want to read it. Of course, we still have our sound muffler. We have a builder's wand, which was brought over, a watering can, which works a little differently than the old one. And then the sun crystal, which we're going to need to make for our thing. So the way this power for our spotlight, so the power system is completely passive, meaning it doesn't use any resources. It is also entirely wireless. It's basically associated with your player. So you set these passive power generation blocks out in the world, and then you just have that power available to you at all times. However, there is no way to store power. So you can only use the power that you are generating at this moment. We've got solar panels to get power during the day. We have lunar panels to get power at night. And then we've got lava generators, which basically generates power when you set it next to lava. So I think we're going to start with solar power because I think we have to, because everything else requires the stone burnt, which we're going to need power in order to generate. So let's start out with our solar power, which is just polished stone, which we can do, I think, with just regular old stone bricks, which we don't have. So I'm going to craft a bunch of these up. Each one of these gives us 1 GP. Oh, and then we also need this resonating power crystal, which requires an ender shard. which requires this glass cutter. So I guess the first thing we're going to have to do is make a glass cutter, and I'm just going to leave that here because it's really just a crafting ingredient. Although we can use it to break glass. You can actually use that to pick up glass. Of course, we don't have any like regular glass blocks, but you can use it to pick up. Oh, that reminds me, we should put glass on our lighthouse. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. It actually does not matter where we put these, as long as... Oh, actually, they have to be chunk loaded, I think. Are we in a chunk loaded area? We aren't. Control. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now we're chunk loaded. Let's just put some more sand there. Alright, we are now generating 6 power. I am going to go to sleep so that we can actually use our solar power. And then we're going to make our first machine that is going to use power. And that is the... Well, if we look at our stone burnt, we see that we need to make it in a resonator. And there's a number of other things that we can make in a resonator. Resonator. Okay, and I think we have everything we need except the block of coal. Doesn't matter where we put these because, again, the power and extra utilities is wireless, basically, you could say. We stick these guys in the resonator, and it's going to take 8 power. And you can see it's kind of ramping up, and 8 is the maximum. So it's... And that's where it's at the highest speed. I don't know what happened. Oh, do we only have 6? Oh, we only have 6. Whoops. Okay, I guess I'm going to make more solar panels. Crap. I'm going to steal a couple of those for now. Okay, now we're generating 9. So it's not like RF, where you're just going to use as much as you have. If you go over how much you have, everything shuts down. All right, while I'm waiting for that, I've got a stack of stone burnt going on right now. I'm going to make one of these sun crystals. And the way this guy works is you get it and it's not charged. It's empty. So you just take it outside in the open sun and you just throw it out here. And you let it sit out in the open sun and you can see the rays. It's kind of pulling in rays from the sun. And it's getting more and more... Is it charged already? Yep, it's charged. Hooray! So we just absorbed a bunch of sun. We're going to want a different type of power because obviously using solar power to power our spotlight isn't going to be very useful because then the spotlight will only work during the daytime. Let's take a look at this lava generator. You know, that is actually not terribly expensive. We could also do a lunar generator. You know what? I think I'm going to make as many lunar generators as I have solar generators just so that we can have... Just so that we're generating the same amount of power during the day that we are at night. So we're going to have to make a bunch of these lunar things, and that is lapis lazuli. So we're going to need to make 9 of those. So let's just take that out for now. Apparently this requires 16 GP, so this isn't going to happen. I don't think. Yeah, we've already... Okay. Alright, I've got 3 lava generators. Stick one here. It should tell us it is generating 2 power. Hooray! No sense making this harder than it needs to be. Cool, so we're generating 6 now, and it's nighttime. So we're only generating 6 at the moment. But I'm going to change that. I made a couple more lava generators, so we now have some lunar reactive dust. See, we can make our first lunar panels. I'm just gonna put them over here. Whatever. There. I think we have everything we need. We do. And this makes 8. It makes 8 spotlights. Wow. Alright, I'm not going to set these down yet, though, because if I set these down, we'll be generating more power than we have. There. We've got all these, and as you can see, they are generating 1.06 power each. And that has to do with the phase of the moon. Like a full moon, you get a bonus. And I think the base is 1. So you set them down, and they face opposite the direction you set them. And you're actually supposed to be able to, and you can see they shine light for a really long distance. That is cool. And it's directional, and it's brighter here. So if I actually set another one down, facing in the same direction. Whoa. Whoa, what is going on here? Oh, it's that thing. I didn't realize I was that close to it. Whoops. Anyway. So if I set another one down... come on, you guys. This isn't funny. Okay, if I set another one down over here, facing that way. What is that? You can see that area is a little brighter. What is that? Huh? That was weird. I don't know what that was. I have no idea what that was. If you know, let me know in the comments. That was really weird. Okay. Yeah, and you're supposed to be able to right click on these things to change the direction, but I haven't figured out how to do that. I don't know if that's just something that hasn't been implemented yet or what. I even tried with a wrench. There's a wrench or a... It's not called a wrench. It's called a... Huh? Jeez. Knock it off, you. It's called a wrench. It's not called a wrench. It's called a wrench. Go this way. As you can see, this little doorway is actually in between two blocks, which is why I can't actually put a door there. But oh well. Okay. So like I said, these things are going to face in the direction that we're facing when we place them. So I'm going to try to get them to face as far straight out as possible. Look at that. That is so cool. And it does it so quickly too. That's weird, because when you place the arcane lamps, and maybe this has changed since then, but like when I first placed those arcane lamps down, it took a really long time for the lights to kind of go out. Oh, look at that. I love that. I just wish I could get them to turn. Nice. I actually want them facing down a little more though. Maybe. I don't think I can get them to face down any more than that though. Look at that. You can even see kind of the ripple of, you know, how the light is fading as you move further and further away. I've always wanted to do that in Minecraft. There's so much stuff I've always wanted to do in Minecraft that this lighthouse epitomizes. The spotlights, the shapes, the shape of the lighthouse. Another thing I want to check out today is this player chest. This is really freaking cool. Let's check it out. But before we do that, while it's still night, let's make this guy. Wait. This magic boomerang. This thing is pretty cool. We need to make some bookshelves. 1, 2. Oh. Darn it. So first we have to make this magical wood, which is a bookshelf and a gold ingot and 4 XP. It actually takes XP right there in the crafting table. Isn't that cool? I didn't think that was even possible. And we make our magical boomerang. Uh oh, I think the sun is coming up. Oh, I missed. But it's a boomerang. And it always comes back to you. And as you can see, it does 4 damage. It takes a lot of hits. And what is that? What is that? What? What? That is so weird. I don't know what that is. Crazy. Oh, I missed. But it always comes back to you. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what happens. It always comes back to you. Oh, come on. And as you can see, it's got a pretty far range. Why is he... What kind of effect does he have? Is he like some kind of special? No, he's just a regular old zombie. So that's the Boomerang. Let's see what kind of range it has. See if we can find something far away from us. There we go. Let's try it from here. Oh, it's just out of its range. And as you can see, the further away it is, the longer it takes to come back. Nice. Alright, there it is, the player chest. It requires an ender chest and a resonating redstone. It also requires some power. I think it's 4 power to use it. I'm going to stick this guy right here. So what this guy is your inventory. In a block. Check that out, man. It's your inventory in a block. And we can set it to... so here's what I want to do. So we've been carrying this magic mirror around with us. And whenever we want to send something home, we do the magic mirror and we throw stuff in there. And then it ends up down there and going into that chest, that hungry chest. And it does generate a little bit of flux when something goes through the magic mirror. So what I'd like to do instead is to get myself, well, is to designate a slot in my inventory as a extract slot. So extract only. And this is just one of so many different things you could do with this thing. I mean, it's mind-blowing, all the stuff you could do this. Actually, and Random Things has something similar to this, but this is actually, I'm finding it much simpler to work with. Item interface pipe. So then we can interface with this thing just like a chest or, you know, whatever, some other inventory thing. So let's break this pipe. Stick this item interface here and get our Neotech wrench. Which one's Neotech? That one's Neotech, I think. Yeah. And tell this guy to input from this chest. So now, check this out. Whenever we want to send something home, we put it in that inventory slot. It gets pulled into our system here. So if we're out mining or whatever, we can just throw stuff in that inventory slot. We'll just have to remember not to put anything in that slot. And the reason I chose that slot is because that way when we do our middle click to sort stuff, we won't accidentally have something get sorted into that spot. But now we can get rid of all our junk. There's a little bit of a delay though. We might want to upgrade that pipe so it's a little faster so that we can just quickly dump stuff into that spot, because otherwise we'll be sitting here waiting for it to pull stuff out one at a time. So we'll put a new motherboard in here with a couple of hard drives and processors to make it go faster. Isn't that cool? Now just imagine all the different stuff you could do with this. Like you could have your armor automatically get replaced if it's broken. You could always have a slot that's full of food. Like you could have it always input steak or whatever food you have on hand in here. You could have a filter on this pipe for like all the foods that you have in your system. And every time you run out of food, it'll just fill it up again. Like, I mean, it's just, there's so much cool stuff you could do with this. I even actually thought about using my quarry, since this is now, I mean, we could make more than one of these, and we have a common inventory now. So we could actually use this at the quarry and have the quarry dump into that spot. Interesting little bit of information. I put a spotlight down here, but the light level is still showing at 0. That's strange. So I'm not sure. It's hard. I don't know what that means about mob spawning. If that would mean that mobs would spawn here. Let's see if we can use up all our power. One more. There. Everything goes out. Everything goes out if you use too much power. So if we break this one, all the other lights will turn on. Let's take a look at a couple of the power gen things. The fire mill. You just place it over fire, and it starts generating power for you. That's cool. I like that. And then what else? We've got the manual mill. I don't know what this is. So let's just get away from that noisy, annoying nether portal and set that right there. 15. Okay, so this generates 15 power. So if you ever need a lot of power, oh, that's cool. If you ever need a ton of power, but just for a really short amount of time, this is a really good way to get it. If I remember correctly, oh, look at that. Even when I'm in my inventory, it's working. That's cool. It's actually relatively cheap. Nice. Let's bring that in the house. Put that somewhere where we might make use of it. Wonder if we can place it sideways. Aw, that's too bad. There's the windmill. And it's open to the north and south. So it works better if you have open blocks to the north, or air blocks to the north and the south. So it's now generating one more power for us. And then the water mill, which generates a maximum of 4. And this guy needs flowing water. I'm going to put the water mill right there. And then I'm going to take 1 bucket of water and just stick it there and see what happens. So we're not generating any power at the moment. Okay, let's try this. Oh, okay. Now we're generating 1.5. See what happens if we put one there. Oh, now we're at 1.75. Okay. Now we're at 2. How do we get 4, I wonder? Nope, now we're down to 1 because that water is not flowing. Okay. Well, it looks like the best I can get is 3. And that is with water coming in both directions and setting this thing like kind of in the middle where the water is lowest, or where you would kind of end up settling if you just let yourself follow the current. So, 3 is enough for now. I guess I'm gonna probably play around with this a little more later to see if I can get it up to 4, because it's supposed to have a maximum of 4. But the mechanics are a little strange. It's not like I tried having water flow around it like you would with a water mill. I tried having it, I don't know, everything I tried, it didn't really seem to make a whole lot of difference. I mean, oops. This was the most I could get. Let's try putting it right here once. Yeah, we're still at 3. Okay, that's interesting. And if I put it like in the middle of the waterfall, actually, let me try that one more time. Yeah, then it doesn't generate anything. And then, of course, that screws up the water source. Oh, now we're at 325. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Let's move it 1 more in that direction. Now we're at 2. Yeah, I don't understand. Alright, 325. Okay, we got we got 1 more. We are generating 25.25. If we want to fly, which we already can, because we've got our Flugel Tiara with our Eye of the Flugel, which is an awesome way to fly. But, of course, we have our angel rings here. These do require 32 GP, and they are basically creative flight. We need a golden lasso, which is... it's basically a safari net. for non-hostile mobs. And then we need a cursed lasso, which is a safari net for hostile mobs, but we have to almost kill the mob. We have to get it down to like 2 or 3 hearts, or maybe 4 hearts or something like that. And then we can pick them up. And then you can make this, which basically gives you creative flight, but you have to have 32. I'm not going to bother with that today because I already have a really good way of flying, and I really love the Flugel Tiara. I especially like this little thing where it goes. It gives you a crazy speed boost for, whoa. Yeah. So I'm not going to let go of that. Of course, I mean, the nice thing about it is that it does not require mana. Nice. Now I have a nice place to check out the view. Nice. Cool. So that's extra utilities. Of course, it's not the only update. There's tons more stuff that we haven't even touched on yet. Of course, the angel rings. We have a trash can. We've got, we have cursed earth, but there's no way to get it as of yet. So I'm guessing that's yet to come. We also have our compressed cobblestone and such back. There's a few actually like what appear to be decorative blocks. I don't know if they're going to have other uses, but we have the intricate endstone, which unfortunately has the same recipe as a Britannia recipe. And when you try to craft it, you end up getting this, the endstone bricks. Hopefully that'll get fixed at some point. Builder's wand. It's the magical wood that we made earlier, and a golden ingot. I'll probably make that a lot. You know, this stuff is a lot cheaper than it used to be for extra utilities. We no longer need the crazy ingots that blow up. That blow up in your crafting table and kill you. But maybe, I don't know, maybe that'll come in the future. Who knows? We have this power overload thing, which is a way to sabotage somebody else's network. A couple different types of glass. And then ender lilies are back. Hooray! There's a 4.3% chance. So if we find like 22 or so dungeon chests, we will probably get some ender lilies. Nice. And there's also this red orchid, which you plant on redstone. You can also find it in redstone chests, or in dungeon chests, and apparently it will grow redstone for you, which is pretty cool. Renewable redstone. Nice. Builder's wand, a destruction wand, which I'm assuming works like the builder's wand, except in reverse. We've got our transfer pipes and transfer nodes back, so we have another way of transferring items. So we will definitely be playing more with extra utilities, I'm sure. And also, there's a few other things with this update. We also have deep resonance now, which I don't know if I'm going to play with this mod much. Maybe you know what? I'm probably going to play with it just for the sake of playing with it. But you know, we don't really have much need for RF, at least not yet. And deep resonance allows us to generate a ton of RF. But it comes at a cost. It comes at the cost of pollution and radiation and such. And then I think we also got some updates with Tinker's Construct and a few other mods. Oh, RF Tools. RF Tools has some updates as well. We still don't have RF Tools Dimensions yet. I'm not sure why. Because it's out there, but it's not in this mod pack yet. It's actually a separate mod now, RF Tools Dimensions. And just a quick channel update for those of you who might be interested First off, I'll just let you know that I had been under the weather for a bit last week, which is why there was kind of a gap in my video posts. And I'm also starting a new series with my son. And I'm not going to be recording that. I'm going to be recording that at a different time than when I normally record these videos. So it shouldn't interfere at all with my Unstable or my Thumbcraft schedule. And it's going to be very different. So it's going to be kind of a silly, fun series where we're going to be playing vanilla in 1.9. And just kind of doing some exploring and screwing around and having fun with that. And then also next week is spring break. The last week in March is going to be spring break. So there might be another little gap in my... that looks like Domino's Pizza over there. Might be another little gap in my recordings for that. But then starting in April, I should be back back to my normal schedule, assuming I don't, you know, get sick or something like that, which I don't think I will, because I don't get sick very often. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please don't forget to click the like button. And if you have any questions, comments, whatever, or if you just want to say hello, just feel free to do so in the comments below. And I hope you join me next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.